It's officially turtleneck season. Hey, I haven't just sat down and made a video in some time, and this has been kind of a conversation I've been having with a lot of people in my life lately, and that usually turns into videos. I want to share 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 things. I made a list. 8 things that I have learned in, is this year 2 of being an entrepreneur? Yeah, in the 2 years I have now been just working for myself. I have a video on all of the ways that I do make money. I will link that down below. I'm working from home for Seabud LLC for 2 years, and I can say it's been a journey, and I can't even imagine what's in store for the next day, let alone year. Especially, I guess, just in my specific industry, the wellness industry. Being a spiritual, strong woman entrepreneur is way different than just being an entrepreneur, let alone being a male entrepreneur. Women entrepreneurs, where y'all at? Hey, it's different because as a woman, we have this intuition, flow, the feel, the receive, like we are just chemically different. So we navigate, and this is generally speaking, I'm not saying all women entrepreneurs are like this, but in my experience and others that I've talked to, we have just been sharing that we navigate the entrepreneurial journey very different. And you know, you go online or you go to any of these conferences or business things, and they're very like structured, and you need to have a business plan, and you need to wake up at 4 a.m. and like it's this like super masculine driven thing. More often than not, if you look up entrepreneurship, how many times am I gonna say that word in this video? If you look up entrepreneur quotes or anything, hashtag, you're gonna find like men with cool cars or like just male things, generally speaking here, obviously. I have learned that I just don't function well. It doesn't come natural to me to be overly structured like that. I'm already a very like masculine dominant kind of woman. I have a lot of masculine energy. I can just be very hard. I turn very rigid, I get very hard, and I like lose my like womanly softness and ease. And as a woman, let me just remind y'all who are watching, we are literally magnets, okay? You can work on you and manifest you and sit with yourself and meditate and journal and dance and play, and that is all attraction. You literally attract things. You are a receiver as a woman. I'm not saying don't be ambitious and a go-getter. That's not what I'm saying. But as a woman, we do have the ability to move with a different rhythm. A friend and I were just talking about this the other day. Shout out to Alyssa, Liz Bliss. She is also a woman entrepreneur, and we were just discussing how my morning routine is a part of my business. I have to journal, I have to do breath work. I teach breath work and learn as I'm practicing, just really embodying the woman spirit. It doesn't have to be this super structured thing. Granted, I do have a master calendar. I love to-do lists. I am also a Capricorn though, so, but no, in general, like those things help if they help. If those things don't feel natural for you, if that just feels like, you know, more resistance, then I am here to tell you the path of least resistance will give you so much more abundance. I really might make a whole dedicated video to this, and maybe I'll bring Alyssa in or something, or bring in another woman entrepreneur, because obviously I have a lot to say. 2, get out of the house. Oh my goodness. Okay, no one tells you how you can literally go all day without speaking to anybody, especially me. Like, I live alone, I don't have a partner, I don't have a roommate, I don't work with a team. I am literally a one-woman show, so I can easily go the entire day without speaking to anybody or leaving the house. As a human, we need human interaction. No one tells you about the like kind of lonely side of entrepreneurship. It gets kind of lonely. I mean, I live alone and I love being alone, and solitude is everything. But invite a friend over, go out, go to a coffee shop. That's kind of like my remedy a lot. Just to even just feel people around me. Maybe I'm not interacting, but just to feel energy around me. You know, collaborate with other people. That's another thing. Like a lot of times, a lot of projects, I'm like, okay, I gotta do this, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. This seems like a lot. It starts to weigh heavy on me, and I'm like, yo, what if I like made a video with this person or collaborated with this person on this project? Like, get other ideas involved, because sometimes like the same eyes staring at a project just get weary. We need new fresh eyes on projects, you know? So invite others into your creative space, share more. That is something that I'm currently practicing. Going into my third thing, and this honestly sums up this entire video, but freedom comes with a lot of responsibility. Let me just repeat that. Freedom as an entrepreneur comes with a lot of responsibility. There is nobody telling me to get out of bed, to clock in, to take a break, you know, like there's no one but you. You are responsible for the money that you make. You don't have a check that's coming guaranteed every 2 weeks because you showed up every day at work. You know, because you can show up at work, you can physically be somewhere and not even really put the work in and still get paid. That doesn't really happen here. You have to put in the work so that you can, you know, whatever your idea of survival looks like, survive. Way more responsibility, and you know, that can be really intimidating, but it can also be really empowering. It just honestly is a roller coaster, and I can't say I figured that one out completely, because some days it weighs so heavy and some days it's like, this is awesome. It just is what it is, but it could be worse. Next one, that all of these kind of piggyback off of the previous one. So in the sense of structure, right? It is important for me personally to some degree that I've learned, because I can either overwork, where I'm just on my laptop for 12 hours, not really doing anything, not drinking water, like just not moving my body, like just locked in. Or I can just totally underwork and just totally be in play mode, and I'm just like, oh yeah, it'll get done, oh yeah, da, da, da. Like let me go hang out with my friends. Like the social aspect kind of gets the best of me personally. That's kind of always where I'm like, but I just want to hang out with people, so like whatever. But the thing is, y'all, you know, not that it can't be enjoyable, but there is, like, if you don't take it serious, it's never gonna get serious. Think about it like a relationship, like a dating thing. Like if you really want this to be a long-lasting relationship, you in this craft or whatever it may be, like you gotta kind of step up, commit. And for me, just recently I created like a master calendar on Trello. That's a personal favorite workspace. It's free. There's also an app, and you know, I color coded and like organized everything for November, and it just made me feel really good. So having some type of structure of like, okay, Wednesdays are this, Thursdays are this. A bigger one for me though, having an actual like clock in time, a break time, that's probably one of the hard, like for me, breaks. And having a clock out time, I think that's really important as well. Like having a time where you're just like, all right, 6 p.m. my laptop is closed, I'm done, I'm clocking out. It's not that easy as an entrepreneur, because you give up the 9 to 5 to literally work 24/7. Like you don't have the luxury of like, all right, well, you know, I'll just clock back in and then I'll get paid for those hours. You know what I'm saying? Like again, it's your responsibility to succeed, I guess, essentially. Like the mental health aspect of it, more often than not, I am way more productive the next morning if I clock out and I just like compartmentalize a little bit, because that's the easy part for me. When I did have a regular job, you can just compartmentalize, like, okay, I'm at work, all right, now I'm free, I can do whatever I want. With the entrepreneur life, there's this like underlying pressure every single day that you're not doing enough. Maybe that's not true for y'all, but in my experience and all of the entrepreneurs that I've exchanged with and talked to, there's an underlying pressure almost every day that, yo, I should be doing more. And so that is why, like, for me, creating things like calendars, some type of structure, creates like a disciplined freedom. Honestly, all of these I feel like could be their own videos, because I got a lot to say apparently today. Next one is, not everyone is going to understand or believe in you and your vision. I know for me going into this, you know, I had like family and friends that were like, oh, that's really cool, but like, when are you gonna get like a real job? And I'm just like, this is my job. Like, you know, that's just something that to be mindful of, to kind of expect if you're new to this journey or maybe thinking about going into it. Yeah, there's just gonna be people that doubt it, people that just simply do not understand, and that's not their fault, you know, it's not for them to understand, that's okay. I guess I wanna also just real quick say that I don't think entrepreneurship is necessarily for everyone. I think, you know, that's pushed a lot online, that like, be your own boss, have your freedom, be able to travel and do whatever you want, but like, I mean, some people just aren't entrepreneurs, and that's perfectly okay. But yeah, the social aspect too, I've kind of mentioned, like a lot of times, you know, I'm home, but that doesn't mean I'm free. Money. That for one is always just like a funny thing to think about when it comes to like wellness and spiritual business, because like that's an oxymoron in itself. but I guess I'm technically in the wellness business, the breathwork facilitator, and you know, like the content I share online is wellness based, and the retreats that I host and stuff like that is wellness based. But money is an exchange, it is an energy, it is a real thing, it is a currency. That's really what it is. Managing money is something I've definitely learned, and I'm still learning every day. Using tools like Quickbooks, or now I've just been tracking it manually, honestly, which I personally just like, using the Google Doc template that, I don't know, but I'll link it down below. It's like a free template on Google Docs that is for budgeting, and just seeing, you know, my expenses each month. I have learned that I'm an indulgent person. And like a lot of my friends are very indulgent, and even some of my family members, we are indulgent, and not always have the means to be indulgent, but like we have enough to be. I am doing my best to regulate that recently, honestly, because I'm definitely just like, whatever, you know what I'm saying? If I want it, I got it, let's get it, fuck it, you know what I'm saying? Life's too long, life's too short, whatever. Having, again, that discipline to be like, is this really like worth it? What is the value of this thing I'm purchasing? Is it long term? Is it short term? Is it gonna bring me more peace? I also wanna go into that a little bit and say investing in yourself is never a regret. I have never, ever, 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 ever regretted investing in myself. This lens that I'm currently filming on was over $1,000 of my own money, but I have no regrets. Anything I've ever purchased that is literally just going back into what it is I create and what it is that I share, I never regret it. I mean, it always teaches me something, always teaches me a lesson, and usually it comes back tenfold. Next one almost kind of goes back to number one as being a woman, but also just kind of like a personal thing with my like voice. My voice has always kind of been like a little, I don't want to say insecurity, but I guess a little insecurity. Like the difference in being assertive, being aggressive, and being condescending. Those like three things are sometimes not easy for me to navigate. I would say in the last like 6 months, really been practicing and doing really well at being more assertive and not necessarily being aggressive or condescending. It just doesn't come naturally to me to be aggressive. I think I definitely take the more passive route, which in business and as an entrepreneur has its beauty. Like, you know, like I was saying, like being a woman and being passive has its ways. But there are also times where you have to learn to use your voice in a room full of strangers or in a room full of familiar faces, which is probably even more scary. And be assertive. The worst thing that could happen is somebody's like, yo, I don't agree, or no. But there is such a reward in being assertive and knowing your worth, which is honestly a journey, and I can't say that I've like mastered that part either. Like knowing your value and the cost and the money and like the prices of whatever it is that you're sharing. Forever learning in that category. But I've definitely gotten a lot more like confident and realizing like, yo, no, I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm sharing. I've invested so much time, energy, money into this craft that I know that I can present this and be like, hey, I'm actually worth this. Like the universe is always saying yes. It's always wants what's best for you. It's literally not trying to go against you. I'm rambling in this video, but that has been a growing thing. I definitely, starting this journey, I did not have that assertiveness in my voice and that surety of myself. Very last thing that is probably a current learning lesson is being a one woman or one person show is a lot of work and help. A team. It is so vital to have a team or have people to support you or have ears to even talk to. A creative friend or a creative outlet like of a person that you can be like, yo, what do you think about this idea? Or like, how do you think this would look? Or whatever that may be. Personally, some days I like really wish I had an assistant, at the very least, like an assistant or even just a team. And then there's the other side of me that doesn't know how to release control, if I can be honest, and I just really like things the way that I like them, and I'm like, yo, it's just easier if I just do it myself, so let me just do it myself. But I can honestly say that in this past year, I made a blog post actually recently about the value of community and how medicinal it is. And it's medicinal in so many ways, but even in a business aspect, it has really been helpful to work with teams. I also have a business that I co-own and co-founded called Connected Camping, which I will have information down below. But that experience has taught me so much about what it means to build with others and work with others and have a team of people come together. Yo, go ask for help. It is everything. Practice so much within yourself, you know, vulnerability, and it really takes a lot of courage to be like, hey, I don't know, you know, like I've tried and I don't know. There's probably someone in your circle, in your life right now that you probably wouldn't even think that you could come to, that would be so honored and grateful if you just came to them with your idea or with your project. So yeah, with that being said, I guess just being a solo entrepreneur versus having a team, I pretty much am in both worlds. My connected camping business is a team, and I have like a co-business partner, whereas Seabud is just me, solo dolo, and I see the value in both completely, but I'm not gonna lie, more and more, Seabud could use some assistance, but we'll see, baby steps. But that is it. I was very chatty on this video, so thank you so much for listening to me ramble on, and greatly appreciative for how much this channel has grown, and those of you who have been with me for a long time. Whoa, y'all are real ones. I can't believe you've been around this journey this long. And there's so much more to come. Let me know, comment down below what maybe you have learned or things you're curious about, or if you want a part 2, anything you want to know as far as being an entrepreneur in the wellness industry, or just an entrepreneur in general, being a woman entrepreneur. How many times can we say entrepreneur? All right. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace and love.